I think the roller coaster actually gives us a wonderful example of our lives, our careers, our business, relationships. Picture in your mind right now the roller coaster pulling in. You climb in. The shoulder harness comes over your shoulders. And you look up and there's a young man, barely old enough to drive. He's smiling at you. He knows something you don't know. He gives us the "it's okay to start" motion, and suddenly we begin to move forward into the unknown. We're entering a tunnel. It's dark. There's quiet whispering and sounds. There's a turn, and then all of a sudden the clicking, gear grinding sound of the ascent, and you look up and you can see at the end of the track blue skies way above. When we emerge from the tunnel, you look out and you can see we're now above the trees. It's all familiar surroundings, just a new perspective. And you continue to climb until finally, 12 stories high, we're at the top and everything levels off. And it's quiet here. And you can see the whole world from here. Then suddenly, the nose drops and you are straight down racing 70 miles per hour towards the ground. And suddenly, everybody is screaming. Right before you reach the bottom, there's a turn, a right turn, a left turn, a right. You're climbing, unexpectedly climbing. Suddenly, you discover you are hanging upside down. Lean over and kiss your neighbor goodbye. A few more twists and turns, and then finally, a long, slow stop right where we started from. Sound like life? Does, doesn't it? We start our careers, our businesses, our relationships with certain expectations, certain hopes and dreams, and we begin to move through the unknown, the dark, the climb, the new perspectives, new opportunities, finally reaching what we think is, this is it. Then the bottom drops out, the economy fails, somebody makes bad decisions, sometimes it's us. There's twists and turns of unexpected changes, and there's the loop-to-loop of health issues. That's life. I think the greatest tragedy is not that the ride comes to an end, but that for many of us, it keeps coming back to the same place we started. And nothing has really changed. And then worse, we do it all over again. That's why we keep asking, what's the one thing that separates those who live their dreams from those who dream of living? Is it motivation? Is it skills, talent? Is it money? Those are nice, but they're not the answer. They really aren't the answer. Those who've learned to break out of the cycle and are beginning to really discover new possibilities are the people who have understood what we call the ambition effect. When you and I dig into and explore the ambition effect, we'll focus in and discover 4 essential principles. And I want to give those 4 to you today. 4 essential principles are going to come into play. The first one is this: ambition triggers action. Ambition triggers action. Those who are really moving beyond the spinning cycle understand it's about taking action on the ambition they have. I've met people that have had 15, 20, 25 years of work history, but they only have about 2 to 3 years of experience, because they just keep doing it over and over again. And then finally, when they've exhausted their possibilities and their talents, they move on to the next job. See, that ambition has to trigger an action. And then the action, well, that'll create the experience. We spend so much of our lives wondering and wishing and hoping and what ifs, and never really look deeply at the experience that we're having, which reveals to us all of the possibilities and the things that don't work. So what do we do with those possibilities? I don't like rejection. Do you? It doesn't feel good. In fact, it doesn't taste good. It's just, I just don't like rejection. But sales calls are a necessary thing in my business. And I realized one day that I kept coming back to the same place over and over and over again, and I didn't like what I saw. No calls, no results. No calls, no results. Not good. What do? And it was in the agonizing truth of the fact that I'm just going in circles, coming right back to where I've always been before, and I'm not getting where I really want to be, that I remembered second grade. Second grade, we moved to a new town, and I didn't know anyone. Didn't know anyone. I wanted to play with children my age. There were no children my age that lived on my street. So I went to complain to my mother. I said to her, Mom, there are no kids in this town. Isn't it amazing how we will exaggerate our frustrations? There's no kids in this town. Now, all I knew was that there were no kids on my street. She looked at me and she said, well, Stephen, why don't you go find some? Well, you don't have to tell me twice. So this is exactly what I did. I went door to door around my block. I knocked at every house and I said, if they opened the door, hi, I'm Stephen. We just moved here. I am looking for children my age to play with. Do you have any? I did. I did. And if they said no, it wasn't rejection. It was just a discovery. If I could do that when I was a kid, why can't I do that now? The switch turned on. You see, the ambition led to an action. The action led to an experience. The experience revealed my possibilities, and my possibilities inspired the action. That's the ambition effect. And if you desire to take your audience on a ride that will inspire them to get active, to break away from the old cycles, to really discover their own effect from their ambitions, well, now we're talking about motivation, aren't we? My name is Stephen Iwersen, and I'm looking forward to a conversation with you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Great. Great.